Stoked for week number 2, guys. Here we are, Dana White's Contender Series. We have a return of Torres Finny. He was on the Contender Series, I believe it was last season, in which he got a pretty big win over Yuri Panfarov, a guy who was a pretty hyped up prospect, and now he's back. I don't know why he didn't get the contract then. I mean, that was a big win, if you ask me. But here he is. He's back. He's now in the middleweight division, which is where he was before, I guess. But he's back at the middleweight division. He's fighting Cam Roston, who was originally supposed to be on the Contender Series last season, but he fell out of his matchup, got replaced, and now he's back this season. So interesting that both of these guys had ties to last season. Now here they are. Torres Finny, undefeated still, 8-0, 5-0 in the last 5, and 5-0 in the last 5 for Rowston. He does have a couple of losses, but they are a while back. This is an interesting one because it's very much striker versus wrestler, right? And the striker, 6'2" for Roston. He's going to have obviously a pretty massive size advantage over a guy, or at least height advantage, over a guy in Finney who is only 5'8". That is pretty short for the middleweight division. Let's be honest. I'm 5'8", and I couldn't weigh 185 pounds if you put me in a suit of armor. So let's put it that way. Torres Finny is very short for the middleweight division. That is what it is. Now, when we look at this matchup skill for skill, things look like you expect in striker versus grappler. Torres Finny, solid wrestler, right? This guy's got really good takedowns. His blast double is fantastic. He's got a really good single leg as well. And he's got excellent top control. He likes to get into that half guard and do his work from there, or with that wrestling ride, where he's got kind of like off to the side a little bit, got that, got the leg, whatever. You know the wrestling ride. If you don't, Google a picture of it because I can't really demonstrate it because you can't see the ground here. Good ground and pound as well. Dude's he's built like a brick house, right? So when this dude is on top and he's throwing down hammers and throwing down elbows and stuff, I mean, you don't want that. You don't want that. Torres Finny's a big, powerful dude. In the striking, it's okay. It's decent. He's powerful, and he's extremely athletic, and he's got really good cardio for a guy with as much muscle mass as he has. I like a lot of things about Torres Finny. I do think the striking could use some work. He did get a standing knockout in his last matchup, but I think it was his last one. But yeah, realistically, he's more of a wrestler. So if he comes out and wrestles here, it's a good game plan. If he comes out here and tries to strike, probably not the best idea because obviously, like we said, he's going to have a big height disadvantage, which comes with a reach disadvantage. But Roston is a good striker. He's got good volume. He mixes up his striking well. Punches, kicks, knees, elbows, all the fancy stuff. He mixes it up really well. And that's something you like to see. He's got a good knee up the middle, which could be a problem for a guy shooting takedowns. So if Roston is out there and throwing those knees up the middle, giving Finney something to think about, they might end up striking for a little bit. And if that's the case, Roston's going to do well. He's got a nice 1-1-2 combination that he uses quite often. And I do like that because sure, you're only checking the same spot. I don't really like that so much, but I like that he has a go-to combination. And against a guy like Finney, who isn't really a striker, that's something he can get away with, right? That just pop, pop, boom, just 1-1-2 right down the middle. And down the middle with MMA gloves, a lot of guys don't realize this. MMA gloves, because they're so small, the shots up the middle often land more than you'd expect. Like in boxing or Muay Thai, you got those big gloves. So you can just block up the middle and all this is covered. But with MMA gloves, they're small. So when you're right here, you can still see clear that you can fit right through. So even if you're trying to cover like this, then you can't really see anything. But if you're trying to cover like your face, you can't get as much coverage as you could with Muay Thai gloves. So blocking up the middle is hard. That's why a lot in MMA, you see a lot of jabs land or a lot of just like 1-2s. So that 1-1-2 combo from Roston, I like that. It's a good combo for this matchup. And the knees up the middle, if he mixes those together, I think in the striking, he's going to have a lot of success. And that his striking defense, it leaves a lot to be desired. And if you're fighting Torres Finny with a lot of power, you got to just be careful a bit. Now, sure, he can stay on the outside and use that range. That's probably what he's going to want to do. And I think that's what he will do with that 1-1-2, use the knees when Finney tries to close distance. In the grappling, he's not a slouch either. He's got a decent single leg, and he's got pretty decent top control. Realistically, he's not going to out-grapple Torres Finny. For me in this matchup, what I think happens is I think there is going to be some success from Roston in the striking early on. I think he's like the fight starts on the feet. He's going to be able to land his little 1-1-2, he's come out, bop, bop, boom, hit him. Then he's going to say, that sucks. I don't want to deal with that. And that's when he's going for the takedowns. And I think once he starts getting takedowns, I think that's it. These takedowns, he's going to be able to secure, get top control, grind out rounds, landing some serious ground and pound, like enough to cause some damage. I think he actually probably gets him out of there with some ground and pound. So I'm going to take Torres Finny with a ground and pound knockout, and hopefully they give him a gosh darn contract this time, because the dude will be 9-0. He'll have 2 wins on the Contender Series, one of which was over a guy in Panfarov last season that everybody was saying was going to win. I believe Finney was a pretty decent underdog in that one. We picked him, if you remember, right? But Torres Finny, the guy, he deserved the contract last time. If he gets this win here, they got to give him the contract. If he gets a boring decision, I understand if they don't, but I don't think that's going to be the case. He's never been boring, even though he's a wrestler. Like, if you think, oh, wrestler, that's boring. It's not boring. He does a good job at making it exciting by smashing people's faces in. So we're going Torres Finny. Like this video while you are down there in the comments, doing all that fun stuff, letting me know your predictions. I do appreciate all of that. Share this video with your friends, but also check out the rest of the videos in this playlist. We have all of them. They should be popping up on your screen right now as a link for you. But check out all the videos for the Dana White's Contender Series playlist, and I will see you guys over there.